All right, hope everyone is doing well. I have been meaning to make video on this for a long time. I'd been like an advocate for DORA Metrics on my teams in the past, so I'm really passionate about this. So I wanted to share this with you um, about DORA Metrics. So DORA really stands for DevOps Research and Assessment. Now, this came out of a book called Accelerate, and this has been implemented at Google and a lot of other high performing companies. And yes, the book is really awesome. So I highly recommend it. So now let's get to it. There are four metrics within this framework. And so let's start to go through one by one. And then we'll see how the elite teams measure, how the low performing team, high performing, medium performing teams measure against this matrix. So the first one is the change lead time. So this matrix really measures the time between developers' first commit or first transport to when the code actually hits production. Now this really measures the speed at which you are able to move your code from building to the value to the business in production. So you want shorter lead times. You want your lead times to be as low as possible. That's first. Second one is deployment frequency. In the world where agile is very prevalent, you really want your deployment frequency to be high. I've heard of Netflix, Amazon, other companies like that. They deploy multiple times a day. I've been also on teams which deploy once a quarter. So you really want your deployment frequency to be high, and it's really easy to measure as well. With that, let's look at the third metric. The third metric is change failure, right? Now, the first two were really about speed. Now, this third one is really about safety. You want to make sure that the changes that you are making to production, they don't fail. I mean, we are not aiming for 0% fail rate, but we are aiming for really low fail rate. And this was the area where the teams that I had been on really was performing very well. They had real close to like under 5% of change failure rate. So really, you also want to measure this as well. And then the fourth and the last one is time to restore service. Of course, I mean, the failure can be due to multiple reasons, and the restore time can vary depending on what caused the error. But really, you want your system to be resilient, to be fail safe, so that, of course, depending on the use case, so that you have reduced time to restore. And what we really measure here is mean time to restore the service. And so you're really aiming for low value on this metric. For my team, I've noticed that we had like under 30 minutes of mean time to restore, which was really awesome. So we are really performing very well on those in this metrics at least. So let's look at how the teams should be. So elite team, really for the first two metrics, like their deployments are really like multiple times a day on demand, and their lead time changes of less than an hour. So that might feel like too less for or too high for some of the larger organizations, but it is possible. So my teams we were in the medium time frame when we graduated to high, and we are really happy about it. So the team need to have conversation and need to have that passion to improve on these metrics to be able to deliver value in small chunks to the end user really fast. And once that passion is ignited, then team will work its magic and improve on these two metrics. And the last two metrics, the teams that I was on, they were already performing it at elite level anyway. So that's my snapshot on this. So the metrics, Dora metrics, in short, these are really not that many. There are four. They are simple, easy to measure. They reflect both the speed and stability, and they are very easy to socialize among different kinds of stakeholders to kind of showcase performance of your team. So with that, I would like to see if you have been using any metrics to measure, because like the famous saying that if you don't measure something, you won't be able to improve on. And so even just starting with maybe a couple of metrics from this four will lead to improvement of your team's performance in terms of software delivery. Thank you.